Ladies, welcome to the Feminine Mystery. My name is Azalea Dawn, and on my channel, I look to bring clarity to your vision of your feminine future. Today's video is all about how to renegotiate your hypergamous relationship. Now, when it comes to a hypergamous relationship, a lot of benefit can be found there. When you have this man who is a masculine provider, he's able to give you and willing to give you so much in life. However, that may not mean that things are necessarily perfect. And as you're self-reflecting, you may find that there are some areas, just some key areas in which your relationship is maybe lacking or it's not leaving you fully satisfied. And you may be wondering, oh, okay, what do you do about that? How do you bring this up? How do you have that conversation? Should you maybe call it quits and maybe break up with him? Or should you just stay in the relationship and settle? And I think that there's definitely, a middle path to walk here where you can communicate and have that conversation without making it a little bit of a Debbie Downer kind of conversation that you're not doing enough conversation. Now, I have helped a lot of my friends kind of guide them through how to have this conversation, how to approach that, and how to renegotiate their relationships with their boyfriends and husbands who are providing for them, especially in terms of just additional things that they may want, like more luxury vacations, right? If they want to be traveling together a certain amount of times per month, or if they want, a certain gift that they're not feeling like they're getting, or if they're feeling like they're just not getting gifts in general, right? Or any sort of experiences that they want to be having together, anything that might be a shared experience, right? All of these things are goals that you may have from this conversation. And if this interests you, then keep on watching because we're going to discuss right now. Now, the first thing that I have to emphasize is that you want to come to the conversation from a good mood. People are very sensitive to the energy of other people, and nobody wants to walk into a situation where they feel like they're about to be confronted with negativity or they're going to be ambushed with a negative reaction. So you really want to make sure that any sort of conversation that you're planning to have, that you're coming to it from a good mood, because that's going to make your boyfriend or husband want to have this time with you, want to have this conversation with you, instead of trying to avoid it or make excuses or get suddenly very busy with working or do something where he is essentially maybe traveling a lot without you, right? You would be surprised because a lot of times I've seen, even in good relationships, it can happen where this girl has this cloud, this aura of negativity around her, and it's starting to make her man try to avoid her a little bit more and keep a distance because he can just feel that there's kind of a storm brewing, So a lot of people just have a natural reaction to just withdraw from that, to avoid conflict, and I don't necessarily think that also always needs to be assuaged or microanalyzed. I just think that when things like that happen, you can really address it through the energy that you have on your end. So you want to make sure that you are really taking the time to pamper yourself and look your best, right? To make sure that you are feeling good and looking good, because the number one sin, especially among women in hypergamous relationships, is you do not want to start a confrontation, especially when you don't look good. If you are coming to this man and you are maybe not looking your best, maybe you're in a bad outfit, or you're just not taking care of yourself, you have chipped nail polish, no makeup, you're just looking a little tired, a little bloated, a little puffy, that is not the time to have a confrontation. Because again, subconsciously, even if somebody thinks that you're beautiful as a whole, they're going to start trying to back away. They're going to start to be repelled from you. And that's not the energy that you want to have in this kind of situation. So you really want to make sure that you are pampering yourself, scheduling time to go and get your hair blown out, to get massages if that's something that you like. Maybe if you're just having, a bit of a sour time, you can go and try something like Thai foot massage. Anything that's going to make you really feel like you're being taken care of and pampered, and just, investing in yourself, making sure that you look your best. Maybe you're getting hydrofacials or something like that. Make sure that you're taking your time to treat yourself, and also like plan out how you're gonna look your best. Do you need a new outfit for this kind of occasion? Don't think that it's too much, because it really is something where when you walk into a situation and your boyfriend or husband, he hasn't seen you wearing this before, he's like, oh my gosh, you look so nice. That's going to be a mood booster. And anything you can do to make this more pleasant is an avenue that you should pursue. The next thing you want to do is block out the whole day for each other. Now, this is so important. I think a lot of girls that I see and that I've talked to, that I may be friends with, who have had these sorts of conversations where it may just not go their way, the number one mistake that I see them making is that they have kind of scheduled to have a conversation, but they haven't blocked out the whole day to be together. And this is very important. It may seem like it's going above and beyond if you just want to like tackle like this one thing, but at the end of the day, like I said, nobody likes that, conversation of like, you're not doing enough for me. And one thing that can really go wrong and kind of sabotage this is the kind of like the escape hatch, I call it, when somebody suddenly like they just blurt out something that's unhappy, or that's making them unhappy, and like a confrontation has been initiated, and then the other person leaves. A lot of people have trauma surrounding people leaving them. They have abandonment issues. Even men, as much as it may seem like he's tough, he's masculine, he has, a lot of confidence, he's self-assured, he's successful. People have trauma that sometimes you don't even know about. And when you leave people, that, even if it's just, like you just getting up and going somewhere that you always go, that physical act of leaving somebody can trigger a negative psychological reaction that just makes it like a negative memory in their mind. They're not having a good time. They don't like being left. And that is just not the time that you want to be having this type of conversation. When you block out the entire day to spend together doing maybe a shared activity, that creates like this reinforced idea of comfort in many people. Now this person knows, because maybe you have like an activity planned after a meal, or you're going to be spending the entire day together, let's say on the golf course, right? And you're not going anywhere. You've committed this entire time to spend with them. Now he knows that you're not going anywhere. So if he says something that maybe you don't like, or he has like a reservation or some sort of concern that he wants to express, he can actually do that without sort of like triggering that fear that you're just going to get in the next car and get out of there because you don't like what's happening. A lot of people don't want to feel like they're going to be abandoned. So when you can create that sense of safety and that sense of deep attention where there aren't any distractions, where there's not something going on that's going to take this person away from you, that is the most effective way to have conversations like this. So you want to make sure that you are blocking off the whole day for each other, and maybe planning some sort of shared activity where you know that you're going to be in the same space together for the entire day. The next thing you want to do is come prepared to prime the conversation. Now, this may seem like something that is a little bit artificial. You might just kind of let things go how they go. But at the end of the day, this, even though it might seem salesy, it's salesy for a reason. It's very effective. You want to prime the conversation. And the way that you do this, especially to get something that you may want from any kind of negotiation, which is why you see this so often in like sales tactics in business, but you want to establish a backdrop of what is normal, what is happening around you, what's happening in your social community, what other people are experiencing, what other people are getting. And you want to start to set the expectation right around like what this person should be doing, right? You want to kind of, instead of just like going into something hot and like just telling somebody like, oh, you're not doing enough for me in this area or that area, you just want to start to prime the conversation and let them know about what's happening for other people. And I understand that this can also feel like a little bit, like if you're like a very like self-focused person, it can feel a little bit like gossip to you. But this is one of those times where I would say it's a good thing to start to talk a little bit about what's happening for other people, because sometimes we are just living in our own worlds and people don't know, like what is happening around them. So like, let's say you are a part of like an affluent social circle, and this girl, that girl, this girl, everybody is going to Italy and you are not for some reason. And you are at the end of the day, like looking to have more vacations, more travel with this man. One of the things that you can do to really prime the conversation is come with facts, come with receipts, come with evidence, come with stories, right, that are true, come with reference material about what is happening around them, because sometimes he just doesn't know. And once this guy starts to see like, oh, okay, like all of these women, like they're being taken by their boyfriends and husbands to Italy for vacation, he might be the person to say, oh, okay, we can do that too, right? Social inclusion is a very prominent human need, and understanding that something is happening around you is just something is normal for the people around you, that can also often like let other people know when they're lacking in some area, and they will address that themselves. But even if he doesn't necessarily like start to go there, that's going to again prime the conversation for you to start asking for what you want. So if you are, looking for some increase in the amount of travel that you're doing, or if you're starting to look for maybe like a certain gift, if you want maybe a certain bag from Hermes, you need to start coming in prepared to talk about the other women who have this bag, the time that their husband like went in and got it for them, the occasion that it was for, how they were going in there in like a celebratory mood. You need to be coming in prepared to prime the conversation to really get the result you want by establishing how normal it is in your affluent social circle to be getting this thing that you want. You want to set the expectation for what is normal around you. Finally, you want to let any consequences be natural. Now, one of the YouTubers that I watch, I think her current YouTube name might be like Universe Guru, I'm not sure. But one of the things that she always says that I think is such good advice is that you want to let consequences be natural consequences. You don't want to create the appearance that you are retaliating against somebody or like throwing a fit. Because a lot of times, especially like men, like they often like they see this behavior for what it is, and they're just going to wait you out. Like at the end of the day, if you are kind of throwing a tantrum, if you're just being in a little bit of a mood, or you're being kind of, like a little unpleasant to be around just because like you didn't get something or you didn't get your way, they're just going to think about it as like you being like a little bit of a brat. I saw this one character on, I don't know if it's like some Dubai-based reality show that's currently on Netflix, and like she goes around like her house because she wants like a bigger house at the end of the day, and she's like throwing a complete tantrum. She's throwing things out of the closet. She's making the biggest scene you've ever seen, right? Like she is just absolutely throwing a fit because she wants to get her husband's attention and let him know like she wants to upgrade to a bigger house. And this kind of behavior is what I would really discourage you from. Anything that you do, you want to let the consequences of, not getting something be natural. So if you are genuinely feeling like a little bit less attraction, if you're feeling like a little bit less like you don't want to be so close right now, let it just be natural. Don't force it, don't overemphasize, don't act out too much. Just let whatever happens happen. Let the consequences just be what they are. If it makes you want to think, like, oh, okay, like, is this the right relationship for me? I'm not sure anymore. Let that just happen organically. You don't want to come off as if you're retaliating against another person. You just want to let things go the way that they go. Because when somebody really starts to see that their actions really have natural consequences, when a man starts to see this, that's what's going to motivate him to change things through action. He's not going to solve a problem that isn't there. A lot of men are problem solvers at the end end of the day. So if there isn't a problem, they're not going to come in with a solution. So any sort of problem, any sort of, undesirable action that's going on, you want to let that be assuaged through natural consequences. Now, ladies, that's going to be the end of this video from me here today. If you've enjoyed it, then please leave a like below and check out the other videos on my channel. I talk all about femininity and hypergamy and everything that you need to know to either get yourself in the hypergamous relationship that you desire or to maintain your hypergamous relationship. Everything involving leveling up in femininity, that is my specialty. Now, until next time, I will see you in my next video.